G'day viewers, bow down before my technical wizardry and welcome once more to Totally Fucked Up Friday, where I provide you with some real world examples that show, beyond any reasonable doubt, the world really is totally fucked up. I'm going to start by quickly bringing up the Casey Anthony trial, and a lot of people have been sending me messages going, hey, are you going to say something about that? And I've avoided it for two reasons. One, because fortunately it really didn't generate much media here in Australia. And two, because I think the amount of media coverage it generated in the US was sick. If you're lucky enough to not know about it, short version involved the death of a young girl. The mother was implicated. She seemed to have some very unpleasant personality traits. She was tried for the murder and was found not guilty. Now, the media had been playing out for ages. She was obviously guilty. She was off partying and having a good time while her daughter was supposedly missing. She clearly lied to the prosecutors and the police about what had happened, and in fact that was the only thing she ended up being convicted of, that she did lie, but she's found not guilty. Because you know how the legal system works? Usually in the US, if the prosecution can't prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you did something, you're not guilty. Saying, bitch clearly did it, isn't legal, okay? The whole thing, again, the fixation on it made me sick. And you know one of the reasons it makes me sick? Because when you parade things like this, go, look, justice obviously denied. Ooh, they got away with it. It encourages crazy people. There are so many variants of that. Like all the clowns saying, oh yeah, we should be allowed to take guns to political rallies. Using phrases like, oh, don't back off, reload. And then acting surprised when some insane fuckwit does shoot up people at a political rally. You know what? It's not a surprise. It's an inevitable outcome. A certain percentage of the population is crazy. Another percentage takes so many drugs, they don't know what's real and what isn't either. And this manifested itself in the Casey Anthony thing. There was a really bizarre incident where a woman who worked at a service station, she had a fairly weird, freaky customer eyeballing her who goes, you look like Casey Anthony. And then walks out and the woman thought, wow, that was weird. She leaves work, goes to her car and sees, hey, that weird woman is still eyeballing me, gets in her pickup truck, and this woman rams her multiple times because she looked like Casey Anthony. And when the cops finally caught this person, she ranted on about how, well, you know, I knew she's hurting babies and I was going to stop her before she went further. See, when supposedly respectable mainstream entities like the media and prominent politicians spout this sort of stuff out in the open, it gives crazy people license to do crazy shit. And that's why I didn't talk much about the Casey Anthony trial. Let's talk about science now. I like science, except when I don't. Now, most people have at least heard of the ideas of bees dying off. Massive bee colonies dying off far more than they normally did. Freak people out, not least because, well, there's some people who make their living from raising bees for honey, etc. But also, 90% of the world's food is pollinated by bees. If we lost all the bees, we'd be in serious trouble. And everyone's been freaking out about the bee die-offs. Well, science is coming to the rescue. Maybe. Some scientists are trying to breed super strong bees that will be resistant to the cold and various mites that eat bees, and that will hopefully help the problem. Unless it doesn't, unless it's just making giant science-inspired super bees that will kill us all. I hate bees. If anyone's been watching long enough to remember when I was in New Zealand where they have bumblebees, they freak me out. I fucking hate bees, and scientists are out there building super bees. How stupid are you? For smart people, scientists can be really stupid. Oh, like another science story I read this week, talking about coming up with a replacement for animal-based gelatin products. And now look, there's a whole bunch of reasons to want to not rely on animal-based gelatin products. Vegetarians don't like it, people who eat kosher don't like it, and it is distinctly possible that some animal-based diseases, like mad cow disease, could be transmitted to humans by animal-based gelatin products. You know what I don't want to see in a story as a solution for the animal-based gelatin products? The idea of human-based gelatin products. Yes, that's right. Scientists are working on human-based gelatin replacements for animal-based gelatin. Oh, God, they say, right, they're not melting down actual humans. It's all got to do with very clever gene splicing and modifications and genetic modifications and who knows what else. But if this shit gets accepted, hey, I've seen Soylent Green, okay? It's made of people. People say, look, the human-based gelatin product is good because it doesn't have these complications that the animal-based gelatin has. Yeah, you know what it has that's bad? It's made of people. It doesn't get more fucked up than that. Speaking of dead people, we're all gonna die one day. Maybe, like me, you spend a little bit of time wondering occasionally, how will I be remembered? What will the headline on my obituary be? It probably won't be as awesome as what I saw this week that said, owner of killer bear chokes to death on sex toy. I'm not saying that's a good death. It's a particularly inglorious one. But it's an amazing headline. The background is this guy who made a bit of news coverage last year. He was an exotic animal owner and one of his bears mauled a woman to death. Got him a bit of notoriety here. Well, now he's been found dead in apparent accident. The police saying, let's see, when they found him, he was handcuffed, chained, padlocked, wearing a GIMP mask, and he had choked to death on a sex toy. Now, they have apparently ruled out both murder and suicide. It's apparently death by misadventure. So they said, didn't seem deliberate, but also he didn't seem coerced. It's actually slightly difficult to get an adult man to put all that gear on unless he actually wants to. So, yeah, great headline, not really a great way to die. And look, and another not great way to die, there was an incident in Maui in Hawaii where there's a famous blowhole that tourists go to, and a California man was unfortunately drowned when he was too close to the blowhole. Wave knocked him in, sucked in, drowned all over. In fact, one of the bystanders interviewed said, yeah, just before it happened, I couldn't help thinking it looked kind of crazy to be dancing around, prancing, carrying on that close to a clearly dangerous blowhole. Turns out, that observer was right. It was very dangerous, fatally so. So that type of thing you can almost predict, well, that will definitely kill someone, like base jumping, you know, that popular extreme sport with the daredevils. Okay, I don't mind if they do it, but it's inevitable people will get killed. Base jumping, yeah. Dancing around a blowhole is going to get you killed. I will now predict an upcoming death that is absolutely inevitable based on the behaviour of people. Allow me to introduce you right here to a special Australian. This is a spectacularly terrifying photo taken of Brutus, a 5.5 metre saltwater crocodile. And for those who are metrically challenged, yeah, that's like 16, 17 feet, even more, okay? That is what scientists call big motherfucking crocodile. Meat eater. And look, a lot of people have argued this is a fake photo, but it's apparently real. And a bit of context. That photo is taken up in the Northern Territory of Australia. I've been there on a holiday and I've gone on the boat tour called the Jumping Crocodile Boat Tour. It sounds kind of cheesy, but it's actually awesome. What happens, you go out on a boat, they put a pole out the side of the boat with meat dangling on it, and these saltwater crocodiles launch up out of the water and grab the meat. And some of them, the small ones, they're only, less than 2 metres, so, 5 or 6 feet long. And the big ones, you get up, the 5 metres, you're getting up 15 to 20 feet long. It's really quite stunning to watch. The smaller ones, they launch their entire bodies out of the water. I was stunned where you could see the tip of their tail. The muscle strength required to do that blows my mind. And the big ones, they look freaky. Only half their body comes out, but half their body is fucking huge. And you look at it and you go, I am so dead if I fall in that water. But the tour I went on was not run by these people. You see the boat, how close those people were? Let's have another look. See how close they are to a really big prehistoric monster that would think nothing of snapping them in half, right? See, the boat I went on, the water level deck was glassed in, so you could see them come up like that, but there was glass between you and the crocodiles. And there was a top deck that was a rail you could look over, but you were above where they were jumping. Those people are... The crocodile is higher than them. And I will go on now and say, it is only a matter of time till one of those crocs ends up on the deck of one of those boats. And what happens next is not going to be pretty, let me tell you, because there's not just one or two crocs in that water. There are dozens of them. And even if you made it to shore, the bloody swampland around there is full of snakes as well. I'm just looking at this going, no, you don't have giant crocs jumping up next to you like that. That's beyond fucked up. It is inevitable someone's going to have a bad end on that. All I'm saying, right, if you go up to Darwin and one of these jumping croc tours, and when the tour operator, if they start like rubbing chicken fat on you, saying it's for your own good, don't believe them. They want a really spectacular image is what I'm thinking, and they've run out of the buffalo meat they hang over the side, and you have become the main course.